This would be perfect as your first boat, but it could also be perfect as your last boat. So let me explain why I believe that. So I think your first boat needs to be practical, it needs to be manageable, it needs to be safe, but it also should have good resale, because hopefully you're going to enjoy yourself and buy some more boats. Your last boat should have all of the above, but some of you may actually have dodgy knees by then. So the concept of having single level living but really good operation, simple operation on a high quality boat might make a great deal of sense to some of you. So in this video, we're going to be going right through this boat. What is this boat? It's the Riviera 395 SUV. It's actually, I'm not going to call it the baby of the range because it's actually a considerable boat. It's quite a capable boat, and it's a Riviera, so it'll go anywhere you want it to. These boats are great in the ocean. So we're going to go from the stern to the bow and all the way through this vessel, show you all the features, and then in the next video, as we always do, we're going to be taking her for a sea trial. We're going to be doing some parking practice. We're going to show you how the anchoring, tender deployment works. And if you're interested in buying one of these, I suggest you click and have a watch of that one. My name's Dan Jones. Welcome to Dan's Boat Life, and welcome to sunny Queensland. It's a beautiful place. I do enjoy my time up here. So yes, starting out on the transom, we have a fixed swim platform on this one. So we've got the slots in the middle, and what some of you may or may not see, depending on what part of the world you're in, we do these custom stainless bars out the back here, which allows us to deploy a small rigid inflatable and the outboard engine. You can take it off and stow it in this position. The boat was actually designed with outboard engine storage in mind, but this storage locker is also perfect. It just hinges out. It is perfect for lines and other boat bits and pieces. So I think potentially from a practical point of view, all Rivieras are designed with owner-operator in mind and solo or short-handed operation in mind, and we'll touch on some of those points as we make our way through. We've got our swim ladder deployable from the port side. We've got beautiful stainless steel cleats on either side. No nonsense, we don't have to run the lines through fairleads or anything because it's not that size of boat, so it's kind of practical. We've got some nice Korean look on the top here. However, this does hinge up, and we've got a barbie, we've got a heat plate, we've got a light, and we've got our sink just here and a cutting plate just there. Can you hear those birds? They are noisy. Anyway, welcome to Australia. Another rod holder on the starboard side. You'll see this design, it actually, the gate conveniently sort of fits in here, so it actually matches the style when the gate is open. It is perfect for getting on and off the boat. And the other thing worth considering, because we are around that 40 foot, they're more like 43 feet LOA to be honest, if we put the tender in chocks this way, it wouldn't allow us easy access to the other side of the boat. That's why having the tender on this setup makes more sense. So if you were docked on the port side at the marina, you can still step on quite safely from here, and you're not trying to squeeze around a boat which is in your way, and we still have space to stow water toys. So if any of you are thinking about those foam mats that you hang out off the back of the boat so you don't get eaten by the sharks, you'll still actually be able to get one of those rolled up in this location and transit port and starboard. So just a little bit of practical thinking going into that. So for those of you who like a bit of a fish, you absolutely could do that on a boat like this, but just pay attention to the fixed bimini overhead for casting. It's not essentially designed as a fishing boat, it's a sports activity vessel, or it's an SUV style, so it's a bit of everything is the focus. And I guess we see people who just want to cruise, they might want to live aboard, they might want to do a bit of water activities. They're all getting attracted to rivs. Sorry, my bad, got to do that. So that's your little cute little fold out seat in here. Underneath me, we actually have a kill tank or storage for fenders just under the floor, just here. We've got waste out wing station just here, and then we also have the ice maker, and then basically Korean finish, but that's nice for dressing if you choose. We've got an optional esky / fridge in here, so that's very, very deep and insulated. It's the whole width of this seat just here. A little bit of storage, something to hold on to, but this table will also double in size, and you can see we've got drink holders. They are wide enough to put a tinny with a cooler in that position. So just in here, we've also got a little bit of storage, and then we've got the Rainman in here as well. So that's where that's located. We've just teaked the cockpit, and then we've got the shore power connection in here. What we might do from here is go forward, quickly show you up on the bow, and then we will go inside because it's a very livable setup on this boat. Moving forward, you just go up a couple of stairs. You can hold on here and here. Inherent stability on a vessel like this is quite good because the center of gravity is relatively low because we're not a flybridge. So we do have most of our weight down low, and moving forward in most sea states and most conditions is going to be fine. So people of any age are going to feel comfortable. You've got something to hold on to there. Slide your bum along here. We're on the grippy fiberglass. It's nice and easy underfoot. And then that is access into our anchor locker. You could stow some extra bits and pieces, as you can see we have on this one. And I'm just going to show you on the other side. Okay, you can see the chain and the wash down in there as well. We operate the anchor from the helm, but you take the safety off just here. You can see we've got cleats, and then we have a couple on the center line. We also have ventilation going down into the cabin. You may or may not know, these hulls, it's essentially a flybridge hull in a sedan style. So the design of the hull has a tendency to displace a lot of the water out, and having the anchor roller designed essentially integral into the decks, pushing the anchor forward and then factoring in the slope of the bow. When you do drop the anchor, there's not much to hit, or there's nothing to hit. So it's a bit of a set and forget. You can just drop it, and when you hoist them, they've been designed with these rollers in such a way for the weight of the anchor to right itself when it comes out of the water. So it might need to spin around if it comes up backwards, but it will eventually right itself and stow itself. So just going back to my point earlier, if it's your first boat, you don't really want something that requires too much management or too much preparation by you all the time. You sort of want the boat to look after you because you got enough on your plate. And that's what a design like this will do, in my opinion. So this is lovely. These cushions would stay up on the bow. There is a cover that goes over them, so you don't need to take them off the bow all the time. Obviously, if you're winterizing, that might be a different kettle of fish, but this has got a built-in backrest, and then if you want to put it back down, you just all the way forward and then like that. But see how it still has that headrest there? It's quite comfy. I could have a little nap right now actually, but that's lovely. 3 drink holders, same again on the other side. We've got, that's going down for ventilation into the head, stainless steel wipers with built-in freshwater wash. You can see our spotlight up on the roof. We've got the radar, we've got the TV aerial, we've got VHF, navigation, horn, that's all up there. You absolutely could put more toys up here if you want to stow them in transit on your way to your next destination. It's definitely a style that's not a problem. And you can see there 2 opening sunroofs either side, helm and navigator. Midships cleat just here. Courtesy lights just here, stainless. This sort of overhang of the window serves as a grab hold, but you've also got this one here, but just pointing out, this goes all the way forward. So if you are rocking around, you've got multiple things to hold on to. So I would sort of class this as a safe boat to be moving around. So to my point, if you're on your last boat, well then maybe it's quite relevant. So, welcome to the saloon. Come on in. First thing worth pointing out, that big door, fixed window, and then the hinged one here that just goes up on the gas strut. So that's lockable from the inside, and we do actually have these manual pull down blinds. Now these are all the way around the boat, and depending on what you choose to do, you can have external mesh covers to go around the outside, but these blinds make life real easy because then you can just put the mesh around the windscreen on the front and pull the blinds down internally, and you're essentially packed up for the day. So you have that cover deployed on the lounge up forward, and then the one on the windscreen, and you're ready to rock and roll and get onto something else, which I know so many of you will like. So, L-shaped lounge, beautiful little inside dining area. This could be your work from boat setup with the laptop as well. This will also drop down with a cushion that goes over it. There's actually a ledge under here which takes the weight, and then this can be a day bed or maybe an occasional bed for a couple of kids. So we do actually have storage underneath these two ones. They are on gas struts. They don't interfere with the backrest when you pull them up. And then you've got these vents here and here. That's actually for the air conditioning motors, which we've got on right now because it's the end of summer in Queensland and it's lovely. But it's, in terms of the design, I'll just kind of point out, good angle, comfy, and then when you get back to the corner here, you could go to sleep. It's really, really nice. Everything's padded. It gives good sound and heat insulation, but it's very comfortable. If you're spending long amounts of time hanging out on the boat, which I hope you do, it's going to be nice. But from an operational and a social perspective, I think it gets even better, and we can touch on that in a second, because having this open allows the skipper to communicate with people there, and because it's not a massive boat, like if you have a look at the 645 SUV, it's so big, I mean, I love it. If I'm out on the back deck, you know, having a smoke, I don't smoke, but my mates do, and they're having a yarn, I can't hear them at the helm. It's so far away. But a boat like this, can you hear me? Oh yeah, it doesn't, I've got a microphone on, but trust me, you can. It's much more manageable because the distance from there to there is not as great, and the distance from there to the bow is not as great either. So, let's just focus on the galley before we go forward. Before we get there, C-Zone. If you haven't seen any of my Riviera videos before, this is a great piece of tech. It's really no nonsense. You essentially just press cruising when you want to go out for the day. So it's going to be on dock unattended when you're at the marina. You will unplug the shore power. The shore power will, essentially what you'll do, you'll turn the gen set on, which is just in here. Literally, you just press start. It does the preheat and fires up. Once it's going, and you've got 240 or 110, depending where you are in the world, you'd go from dock unattended to cruising, and it then switches on all the necessary switches required to go cruising for the day. And then when you finish cruising for the day, and maybe you just want to have a party, you just press entertainment. And then if you finish your party and you want to have a kip, you just press sleep. So it's kind of really no nonsense. It's just built for people. Back to my earlier point, if it's your first boat, this is very easy to understand, so I like that. So this layout, center of the boat, also allowing enough space for people to walk forward and aft. I can't tell you how annoying that is if you are trying to prep a meal and people are trying to get past you. That kind of just ruins the whole flow. So this works even from the most narrow part here to the widest part of the galley here. No worries, multiple people can pass behind me. And then we've got all of these drawers. I'm not going to open them all because it's a privately owned boat and it's none of my business, but I have had a look. They're all soft closed. This is the deepest one. We've got a fridge freezer here. We've got a fridge here. We've got storage here. We've got bin just here, and super, super deep, like pots and pans type storage. It's actually like the whole depth of this cupboard here. Very, very good. Microwave in here. You can see ventilation for the microwave. Single stainless sink. We've got some draining in here for your dishes. And then you've actually got a little lip just here, so things like the coffee machine don't fall off. And this little thingamajiggy here is going to catch the water so it doesn't spill off the galley and onto the floor. Good storage overhead for plates, cups and those sorts of things. And this little ledge here is going to be great for some soaps and salts and peppers and that sort of stuff. And then when you move forward, this is great. A couple of people can sit here. It's great for hanging out, but I enjoy, we've already been driving all morning. It's a really relaxing, fun boat to drive. But from a social perspective, you know, if it's just 2 people, you can be there. If it's multiple people, you can have a couple of people at the helm, a couple of people here, and then more people spread around, and it is quite social. So I like it from that perspective. We've got a TV, which pops up here just manually, and then you've got a flat screen TV, and these windows will manually slide forward and aft, and they're huge. Let me just open this one. So all the way back to here. And it's actually quite useful on the other side. So let's get to that now. I should just show you. Deep, super deep bottle storage. And what I didn't show you before, I'll just quickly do it before we go to the helm. Super, super deep glass storage. Okay, I'll open some of the cupboards, just not all of them. So this is lovely. There's a couple of points I want to make. If you're just cruising around in social mode for Friday night drinks with your mates and you're in a slow speed social time, this design is great because you've got this big armrest here, your throttles are on the port side of the wheel, you've got this massive sliding window which will go all the way back, so it'll go all the way back to here, so you can actually, if you wanted to manipulate the boat using the joystick from the side deck, you could. So if you were going and doing the anchoring by yourself, you could just come back and do a bit of maneuvering if that was required. Essentially, you don't need to, because as soon as you've taken the safety off, you can option these with a camera forward, and you can actually see everything in terms of the chain and the anchor, so it's not really an issue. But this is all very comfortable. The hull design doesn't raise the bow so much when you're underway that you can't see from a sitting position. So you could just sit and drive all day long if that's something you want to do. However, if you want to stand up, you've got these flip up bolsters which give you heaps of room. I actually had a cushion behind my back today because I had maybe too much room, because obviously that's fixed just there, and these will fold up out of the way, so you can kind of manipulate it as you wish. But dark leather, it's not going to reflect back in your face, and you've got your electronic throttles, you've got your joystick forward. We can obviously take command here or go back to the wing station, so that means we've got visibility on the port side with this joystick, and visibility on the starboard side with the other joystick. We've got the ignitions just here, AC pumping, 2 moderately sized multifunction flat screen displays, so you can do what you choose on those. We've got the stereo, actually might turn that off because I've got that on. The Volvo engine diagnostics, the compass, you've got all of your wipers. That's useful having them on a switch, not on a flat screen. Screen wash, horn, your lights, and some of your bilges there as well. This is super handy. Your chain counter on, off, up and down. It just tells you how many meters you can set it to feet as well. This is your spotlight. The only thing, having the spotlight on the roof, it can send a bit of reflection back on the deck at night time. So the solution, it's literally hang your head out the window, which you can do on this one. So if you get too much reflection coming in and you kind of can't see, you can also manipulate the spotlight up a little bit. It's just be aware of that. The only other thing you could do is put a spotlight right on the bow so you don't get that. It's just going to happen on any boat with a spotlight on the roof. That's the AC control. This is 2 drink holders, again, wide enough for a proper, obviously you're not going to drink beers and drive, but you can have a tinny in there, no worries. What's pumping out of here? AC is pumping out of here as well. And I've got overhead, I've got them closed because the sun is quite hot today. You actually have the sun block out and the Mozzie screen as well, so you do you. And on the center line, this is nice having a grab hold, but you've got multiple places to kind of hold on if you are in a seaway, but the logical one is from here, and then you've got this one right here, and you've just got these 3 stairs straight down and straight into the master, island bed, Now, this does lift up on the gas struts. I will actually show you this one because there's nothing too private in here. It's just engine spares. But the deep storage after that is a perfect place for luggage, in my opinion, because it's deep and wide. So if you were flying to the boat, for example, that's perfect. And then these drawers underneath here is perfect for bedding or extra bedding. And then you've got your 2 storage little lockers on either side, then open storage forward of that. We do have the hull windows with privacy blinds, and then we've got the escape hatch or natural ventilation forward. You could sit up in bed on this boat, and then a proper hanging locker with storage, air conditioning, light switches, TV up on the bulkhead. And then the head, it's also the day head, and because it's a single head boat. But the great thing is, separate shower, door opened in, so it's easy. And then you could actually just sit down here and then close the shower screen. It's a proper solid one. That's glass. And then you've got space for all your toiletries, soap. There's no overhead shower thing here because there's a light, so that's the water pressure from there. This is all a wet area, and then you've got a ledge, so there's no possibility for water to escape this area and wet the rest of the boat. Storage, nice little vanity. We've got storage behind the mirrors here, and it's a vacuum flush system, so these toilets won't smell as opposed to the macerator ones. But you do have private access. So if I just open this door and see here, so you do have private access. So that's the day head access and guest access, but you do have private access from the master cabin should you wish. There's multiple towel hooks behind the doors, and you've got the big towel holder just next to the mirror, and then you come back into cabin for 3. So this was always a popular layout on earlier Rivieras, and I totally see why, because families love this, because you've got 2 beautiful singles just here, and then you've got a 3rd one here. You could still sit up in bed, no problems, and you can actually sit up in bed. I'm going to show you on this one, because whilst the roof line comes down on the center line, it actually goes back up again. So without wanting to mess the bed too much, I've still got that much space above my head, and I've got a ledge here. It's actually perfectly comfortable. So if you wanted to, you got reading lights. If you wanted to read a book down here, or if kids want to come down here and play games, totally fine. We've got AC, natural air. It is alarmed, so you don't have any embarrassing whoopsies by leaving them opened if you go in a seaway. Only shallow storage under the beds, but you do have storage. We've got the little bedside tables available to us, but the majority of the storage, it's drawers and then the hanging locker just here, and then we got our charging points, big windows, and storage just here. Come on up. So test drive video coming up next, guys. Those of you who are interested in how she is to manage, we try to cover as much detail as we possibly can. We didn't go in the ocean today. We had breaking waves over the bar. It's not my boat. I don't want to show boats in conditions that you wouldn't take your wife out in, particularly on someone's boat. So we have done an inshore test and some maneuverability and gone into a great amount of details. Hopefully that's useful. So who's going to see the most value out of owning a boat like this? As I said in the beginning, people who are looking for a first boat, people who are potentially looking for a last boat, I see so much value in both of those demographics. It's great amount of accommodation, 5+ people if you include sleeping in the saloon. This is a boat you can really live on for a period of time. It's definitely a boat that you can go places. It's definitely a boat that you can go offshore. It's absolutely a boat that you can maneuver yourself with the right amount of training. It's absolutely a boat that you can really relax and enjoy yourself while talking to your mates. So just hanging in that Helm chair and just driving at whatever speed you choose, windows open or closed, and enjoying yourself. It's that style of boat. Wonderful inherent form stability. So having to get too complex like you do on the bigger boats with stabilization, etc., not sure if it's necessary. So you can just keep this boat, if you choose, fairly bare bones, and in my opinion, get a lot of value out of it. Like all Rivieras, I say this in every Riviera that I film, I think this is the standard that other brands should aim to achieve in terms of functionality of design and quality of build and longevity for you. So that does translate, definitely in this market, I can't speak for the whole world, that does translate to very good resale. So if you are a first boat owner and you want to buy a second boat, which I hope you do, you're going to have to sell this thing. So that's kind of handy, and that's not always easy, depending on what market you're in and market conditions. So just factor those things. You know, I'm not selling any of these boats, so I'm just giving you my opinion. Do always check what I say with your local dealer, because every country, every city is going to have your own unique conditions. I know what I know, but there's plenty that I don't. Jump into the comments if you can add some value. And please, if any blokes are seeing this in lots of videos, are asking valuable questions, and one of you guys owns one of these, or you know something that I don't, jump in the comments. This is a community. Answer the question if I haven't already. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, that's that, guys. I'm a big fan of this. This is cool. It's comfortable. It's easy to drive. We will show you that in the next video. Click on the link coming up on the screen right now. If you want to see more information like pricing or post questions, that is on my new Patreon channel. Link down below in the description. Love you lots. See you in the next one.